DJ's Pro Pick'em Show. I'm your host again. It's James. Here with my co-host Sean Harris and my producer Lawrence Jones. We want to talk this week. We're going to talk about the games from Week 14 and preview the games of Week 15 coming up. First, I got to give congratulations to my producer Lawrence Jones, who just got recently engaged. Offer my condolences.
Yeah, hopefully it don't ruin my picks.
All right. Well, as you just saw the scoreboard. Let's talk about some of the winners from this week. Tim Buechner got his first round win of the year, which is kind of unusual for him. He's usually, perennially in the top 5, top 10 every year. Right now, Tim and Rich are battling it out in the FedEx division. Right now, it's down to it's a 14-point difference between them. Terry Williams is in third place, 62 points back with 3 weeks left, so he still has an outside chance. Let's take a look at some of the other divisions. Eric Clark won his fourth conference win this week in the independent conference, and Eric currently right now leads the league in wins, which will give him a big boost in the playoffs. Look at some of the division leaders in the class division. My dad won the division for the second straight week in a row, and he jumped back into second place, putting both Jameses ahead of the Harrises, which is the good news. But Sean and Mira have been on my tail all year, and they just can't seem to get over the hump. Must be a Harris thing. But look at the conferences, American Conference. Pretty much the conference is going to be won by the winner of the Cuyahoga division. It's going to come down to Darren Nelson and Michael Toes. So that's going to be a tough battle there. The winner of that division is going to win the conference, and unfortunately, the loser is not going to win anything. So that's coming. The greater years those two guys are having, that's going to be a shame. No one of them probably going to get it. In the design division, Tyrone Hitton is taking over the lead for the first time this year. He currently leads Brian Chambers by 1 point. Of course, we know T. Hinton has won the division for the last 5 years. Michael DeBose and Javon Woods have an outside shot, both at 80 and 83 points back. Of course, again, I already mentioned the class division and the summit division. Jason's kid pretty much has that wrapped up. And then the other tight race still left. Guy Chad Pawnee looking for his 5th division title. He currently has 83-point lead over Daniel Simmons. So right now, we can say pretty much 3 of the 6 divisions, or 4 of the 6 divisions, still pretty much up in the air. So we kind of got one of the tightest races we've had in a while. Now we can take a minute to talk about the key games for this week. Of course, we got to talk about the Browns, unfortunately. Once again, I picked the Browns to win, and they lose. I'm currently, on my picks this year for the Browns, I'm currently 2-11.
Oh.
The only 2 I got right, I picked them to lose to Pittsburgh, I picked them to lose to Baltimore. The only 2 I got right. All year,
so
I missed them.
Do you pick them this year? This week?
We'll get to that later.
Oh, okay.
Because both of y'all got points off of that last week. I'm not letting you do it again.
I just want to know.
All right, well, I guess want to get you guys thoughts about the game. I thought the tone of the game was set right off early. The Browns went down the field on the first drive, 4th and 1, and instead of going for it, he kicked the field goal. This is supposed to be Buffalo's supposed to be the worst rushing defense in the league, and right away they kind of showed you that you didn't have confidence in your offensive line to get it in from the 1-yard line, and I think it gave Buffalo confidence saying that they can't run the ball on us either. And Peyton Hillis did 100 yards, but he struggled to do it. And of course, again, he had fumble problems today. I think that set the tone for the rest of the game. The offense never really got going. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I agree. I think the first drive set the tone for the game. They drove, they were driving easily, and Hillis, he appeared he was going to have a big game, and they stopped him at the goal line. They didn't go for it. They settled for the field goal. That gave the Buffalo's defense confidence. They played over their heads a little bit, and plus the Browns were one-dimensional, so they were able to put more guys on the line to stop their run.
My question is, it almost seemed like to me he didn't have confidence in Delhomme at all. Almost like he was a rookie out there again. Kind of like Colt McCoy's first start. Seneca Wallace seemed like he's healthy to play. Why didn't he put Wallace in? He was out there for a couple snaps in the Wildcat. That was pretty much it. I mean, what's the deal with this quarterback situation?
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that they should have had a change of pace and put Seneca Wallace in there later on in the game since Del Holmes seemed to be ineffective. But I think because he's making $7-8 million this year,
want to get their money worth.
They want to get their money's worth, and he was named the starter at the beginning of the season. So I think Mangini's just trying to be loyal to a veteran quarterback who's been fairly accomplished in the league. So.
Is he still for signed for another year, or is he just the 1 year deal?
I think I heard he was signed for another year, but I mean they'll more than likely they're going to cut him though.
Did you get any thoughts about the game, Lawrence?
Well, one thing I knew going in was it was going to be an ugly game. Like I didn't think it was going to be like a high scoring game or anything like that. And like the last 3 or 4 times, like I looked it up before the games had played, like the Browns always have their ugliest games against Buffalo for some reason. It's always
two ugly teams.
Yeah, it's always like high turnovers or just a low scoring game, and neither offense can really do much. So, I mean, the weather wasn't as bad as last year, but it was still kind of bad, and yeah, it just wasn't a surprise.
Is it me, or what's the deal? What does it seem like the Browns play down to their opponent and play up to their opponents? So, I mean, is that a reflection of because they don't have enough talent, or is it a reflection of the coach?
It's a reflection of talent. They really, honestly, the only team that I can think of that really has less talent than the Browns is probably, Carolina. Because I think even Buffalo has more talent than the Browns. And I think they struggle because, they put a game plan together. It works, for the beginning part of the game, and then eventually the talent, once they figure out the Browns scheme, the talent, takes over. It catches up with them. I think that's why a lot of times they lose leads, and they can't. I mean, playing up to the other team's competition. I mean, every single game they have less talent than the other team anyway.
Or they don't have a playmaker, especially in the receiving core.
Oh, that's a whole other story.
Well, speaking of less talent, what's going on with your boy Carson Palmer? Pittsburgh doesn't even score off as a touchdown, but they still win this game 23-7. Palmer, 2 more pick sixes. The Steelers going to win 23-7. That gives him 18 for the year. When he first came into the league, he kind of, was a guy that everybody thought was going to be an elite quarterback. Mm-hmm. Ever since the injury, he doesn't seem like he's the same anymore. Is it the injury that pretty much ruined him? Is it because it's the Bengals?
That's part of it.
I mean, what's the deal with Carson Palmer?
This is all mental. He's just not that strong mentally. He has elite talent. To me, he has elite ability. He just can't handle. He's not the type of quarterback that can handle 2 characters like Terrell Owens and Ocho Cinco, and not having a very good coach. On top of it, that doesn't help either. And they've gone away from what worked last year, which is having the run set up everything else, and that's been a big problem just because of the extra weapons that they've added. They tried to go that route, but they actually just hurt the team.
All right, well, looking at the Steelers' point in this game, it was great that he won, but once again, the Steelers' offense looks pretty bad. Like I said, they didn't score an offensive touchdown. We knew this was a problem all year, no running game, but now the passing game seems to be, kind of ineffective too, especially with kind of Ben Roethlisberger. You can tell he's really banged up, but he's still playing through it. What is the Steelers need to do to get his offense out of whack? I asked Lawrence this because I know Sean don't want to answer that question.
Well, it's like they just need to. It's difficult. They just need to go back up to old school and just run, and their calling card has always been on defense, and we see the big difference is Polamalu. It's like last year, it's like the defense wasn't the same, and they obviously missed him. It's like this cat's been making a lot of game-winning plays this season, so
he's definitely probably defensive player of the year.
Yeah, it's like they just have to stay down and just try not to make any mistakes, and just run the ball and just kind of micromanage what they do on offense.
I forgot to mention Browns Buffalo game. As far as pick side, only 5 people picked picked the Bills to win that one.
I was one of them.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. And then the Steelers game, all 42 picked the Steelers. There were 7 3-point bonus hits in that game. I'm going to hurry looking on time here. Should we go to a break or?
Still got some time.
All right. Next game that we want to preview was Jacksonville and Oakland. This was a back and forth. This was a game the Raiders got to a big lead and kind of fell apart down the stretch. As far as picks go, 34-42 picked Jacksonville with 4 10-point bonuses. McFadden had a big game, over 200 yards rushing, but the Raiders blew a 14-point lead. Jason Campbell left the game, came back, and rallied the Raiders down last minute to give them to pretty much tie the game up, which was one of the maybe just Jason Campbell's best games of his career. But of course,
Kyle Bolan's still back as a quarterback.
But he was only in there for like 2 series.
And he threw an interception for a touchdown.
Well, yeah, true. But they lost the game because after they scored, they gave up a 60-yard kick return, and the Jaguars were pretty much in field goal range. And then the very next play, NJD runs for a touchdown. I mean, that's just pathetic.
Wow.
I mean, but what's the deal with the Jaguars team? They always seem to find a way to win. Are they that good or just?
No, it's just their year. I mean, there's no way to really explain it, no logical way to explain it. It's just their year. They're getting all the breaks, and they're going to end up winning the division, and who knows what's going to happen in the playoffs.
I want to say it's just they're getting all the breaks, but it's because Indy's breaking down.
Yeah, that's part of it, too.
It's like, at first we thought Houston was going to rise up, but yeah, it's like maybe it's just.
You give up 500 yards of offense to the Raiders, and you still win.
It's their year. I mean, that's the only way you can explain it. I mean, they're not that. Everybody knows they're not that good. They're just finding a way to get it done every game.
Well, the other thing is NJD, 6 straight games now with 100 yards rushing. So
that helps.
They do know, where their bread and butter is. They seem to stick to that. So I give them credit for that.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break and we'll come back. We're gonna preview the Patriots right now look like the best team in the league, but we'll discuss that when we come back.